do not let your reaction be your response.
Ooh.
Two, right? So I think about our personalities. Someone coming at me, and I would think you're the same. In my younger years, I'm coming back even stronger. That was now at whatever age I am that I'm not sharing, I have the finesse enough to be like, don't react, think about it and respond. But to me, that's why I have my squishy ball at my desk that I just need a minute.
Welcome to Stop Whining About Real Estate. Join us as we chat, sip, banter, and wine with the best in the biz. Grab a glass of your favorite vino, sit back, relax, and let's wine together. Welcome to our show, Stop Whining About Real Estate. I am your host today, Sarah Birnbaum. With me is my co-host, CEO, and viral sensation, Emmanuel St. Germain, and our very special guest today. Her name is Amy Snook. She is with Lang. She has been a real estate agent for a very long time. She has served on multiple different associations, boards, leadership, and is now part of a team. And we are just so excited to have you. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. How exciting.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, we did a little intro, chit chat and got lost. And I thought, let's get to it. So here we go.
It's kind of how it works, though, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's better to just chit chat and see where it goes.
And that might have been more fun than real estate and lending and all that stuff. So we'll see where we go.
We can keep going that direction.
One thing I wanted to ask you, though, is because we started with your BNI talk about your presentation, and I said your hobbies. So you nailed down your hobbies?
So I was basically asking Sarah, it says interest, hobbies, activities, right? And I hate these things, these forms.
But why? Just so people get to know you in a group?
Well, yeah. So the way it works at BNI is that next on the stage is so and so, and
let me tell you a little about you. Yeah.
Yes, and so they read, and I'm like, I'm just not into.
I'm with you.
I'm a little more complex in whatever I'm going to put, and so I mean, it's true. Likes to
I'm
cook.
so complex. It's just not going to do it justice. But what did you come up with?
For the viral sensation. I understand.
So the viral sensation, have you heard about that? Did you see the video?
No.
So we have it. She told you.
So dumb.
It's not that. We're going to create a plaque. We did this 8-second video. So Leah, who's our social media intern, I don't know if she's ever coming back, but hopefully she does.
She's in Israel. She's going to come back. She's doing her rite of passage.
If and when she comes back and takes the job, she came up with this cute little video that says I miss you, and then the other person goes, I need you, and it's that song. Whoever, I don't even know who sings the song, but it's an 8-second little video, and somehow, so it's me standing up holding a sign in my office through a window, and it's one of our other guys holding up a sign in an office across the way, and so we're staring at each other kind of thing, and it's just a dumb little video, but it literally went berserk. It had 14.5 million views.
Oh my God!
From a tiny little company like us. That's what I'm saying. That's
awesome.
That's why it's a big joke.
So now he's a famous celebrity.
Not really.
But isn't it crazy what goes viral?
Yes.
I mean, really.
Yes.
I try to study it. I watch it for my own podcast, for real estate. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. I think it just resonates.
If I were to think, I think it's the way that the song matches perfectly with the signs, because there's nothing that happens in the video that's that funny or great. They're just holding up a sign.
But do you know what they all do? So all the comments. It would be
I think people
at Bobby, I miss you too, buddy. Yes.
And you added them.
Yes.
And then it just took off.
Right. And it was only 8 seconds, which guess what? In today's
world,
we
have.
I can do 8 seconds.
Yes. Bull riding is another 8-second activity. But
on a good day.
You should.
On a great day.
That would go viral.
What's
the
that?
bull
riding a bull?
Oh, I have a great bull riding story from New Orleans, but we'll save that for a different day.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start with
Amy. Let's talk about Amy.
Please, enough about me.
I wanted to hear the
Sarah
hobbies.
always
We
wants
didn't
to
even
talk
get
about
to
that.
He never gave us
started
the hobbies. I know that they're more complex, but
I'm thinking bull riding might be one.
No. I have. I did try that in LA, but that was on a mechanical bull.
Well, that's
It's not fair though, because they go slow with the girls because they turn it into a sexual, everyone else gets to watch, and you're sitting there drinking, you're like, oh, look at her. But when the guy goes up, it's how fast can we throw him off? Yes.
So what are your hobbies?
So back to the hobbies.
Took us 20 minutes.
I love to cook. So I really enjoy cooking. I like a lot of, I'll see something on Instagram or YouTube, and I'm like, ooh, that looks good. And I'm like, all right. So then on the way home, I'll stop by Whole Foods, not Trader Joe's, because bad experiences there where they run out of stuff. But
Wait, without a recipe? You just see something and then go like buy
well, no,
ingredients?
I watch the cooking of it on Instagram,
Yeah.
and then you see what the ingredients are. No, and I'll watch it 2 or 3 times, and you go back and like,
Okay.
and then, but it's just really, really relaxing for me. You know, like here, my head is like constantly thinking from a work standpoint. And, you know, I'm not married. I don't have kids. So like, I don't have to cook. I could easily go across the street and go to dinner at Akira or wherever. Right. So like, it's not very,
it's not stress.
But you enjoy it. Right.
Love it.
It's a passion.
Love it.
Right. For me, it's a stress, but okay.
It is.
Cooking.
Why?
I think because I don't care about food. I'm not a foodie. Right?
That's
so
a big
for me,
piece
it's
of it.
like, let me just get this done and go on to the next thing.
Okay.
But I respect and appreciate when people are passionate about cooking. It's
not for you. Like if you could take a pill that was your nutrient,
If
you'd
I
be
could not
happy
be
and just move on.
But give me bread, wine, and cheese. Get out of my way.
sit there all day.
That's my jam.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know who has the best? If you like cheese and bread, have you eaten at RH upstairs?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they have, I forget the Bourgogne. It's some Bourgogne. It's French or something. Anyways, so this type of cheese is so soft, and they serve it with like strawberries. So like a strawberry
Preserve almost.
Sure. So you put it on the bread. Oh my God! Like it's literally dessert.
With a glass of champagne. Like, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, but I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, all good.
So cooking. I didn't let him get past one. What else?
Love pickleball. Love pickleball.
Oh, I just started playing.
How do you like it?
I can't believe I'm going to admit this in public, but I'm going to say I was a tennis player, but I was also a competitive badminton player, and I don't really admit that to many people.
Yeah, but you're probably pretty good. I mean, those are two correlating sports.
Love it. I like the singles. The doubles, I'm not moving around as much as I would like to.
Because you're used to moving
You're
in a
still
bigger
athletic,
court.
yeah.
gotta-
I'm beyond that part of my life.
He likes doubles because he can stand in the same place.
Well, I mean, you don't stand in the same place, but yeah. So no, I've had some like knee injuries, and so singles. Like my problems, I'm not very good at like remembering that I'm not in my prime anymore. So when I get out there, there's this lens, and like the internal goes, like
Yeah, right.
I'm 22, roaring lion, and not so much.
And then all
anymore.
of a sudden your knee gives out, and it's like, oh, I should have pivoted that fast.
Yeah, forgot. So pickleball, love. It's an awesome sport. What else do we love? So I mean, I love sports. I love music. I like lots of different things.
Reading, audiobooks, podcasts,
the
learning.
audiobooks. So I'm big on the podcast. So ultimately what it is, and this I was just telling Janina and Roy, I'm going to Colorado on Saturday. Have you ever been to the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs? Oh, beautiful, beautiful property. It's kind of like breakers of like mountains. Ooh. And it's just a big lake, and you get to walk the mountains anyway. So the point is that I was saying that it's a work trip. So I'm going to see, it's called The Gathering from Housing Wire. And essentially it's all like every major CEO in your world and in my world. So they're all there, and you get to listen to smart people talk, and sometimes not so smart, sometimes they're just lucky. But you get to hear a little bit of everything talk, and it's
all mortgage and real estate, right?
Yeah. And so for me, like what I was saying is like, I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of when the last time I took a vacation that was just like vacation. Mm-hmm. I get bored. I get bored very easily.
Long weekends, and I'm good. I'm ready to get back to work.
That's more than enough.
With you.
I mean, I was like, I need a one-nighter.
Well, even on a long weekend. Well, no, because it's like, all right, what are we doing? So like for me, like.
I think it depends who you go with and how you structure the trip.
You know, I just went this past weekend. It was a girlfriend's birthday, fellow realtor in Naples. She said, I'm going by myself. I'm going to the Grand Caymans. And I'm like, do you want to be by yourself? She says, I don't know. I don't mind. I'm like, can I come?
Yeah.
She says, yeah. So I flew Friday, came back Sunday. Perfect. Have you been there, Grand Cayman?
Mm-mm.
I have.
Oh, my God. It is lifestyle of the rich and famous. It was
really pretty.
And the food was to die for.
Yeah.
And it was active. I got to go kayaking. I got to go, all that kind of stuff.
But see, and I would do that too, as long as it's active.
Yeah, I can't sit on a beach and by a pool and do nothing. I'll kill
got
somebody.
an hour tops.
Yeah. Not even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Thunder.
But all right. So I don't know why we're talking about me. This is
I know we've been talking about you for exactly 18 minutes.
and I'm not the one, and I did not ask for this.
It is because
Sarah keeps going back to
because
it.
you weren't
answer the
answering.
question.
Then I was curious what the hobbies were, so I learned a lot.
This was
Very complex, isn't he? Pickleball, cooking.
Yes.
Active. I learned a lot. Yeah.
All right, Amy.
Yes.
Let's
Thank
talk
you,
about
Sarah.
Amy. Whew.
Might not be as interesting, but we can.
No, definitely super interesting. So, let's start with real estate. How long have you been in real estate?
I feel like I need to start lying because of the age thing, but it's
No.
been 25 years, licensed title agent and realtor.
Okay. You started with the title world.
I started with real estate, but it was very brief because I also had title, and then title business got so busy that I got sucked in. I had ownership in the business
Got it.
back in the day,
Okay.
American Fidelity Title. So it ended up being 17 years of title, real estate, and I didn't want to compete with the agents that were referring business title-wise, so I'd be helping them. And then just one day woke up and went, well, let me take a step back. Had a child. And really wasn't, I'm paying someone to be the nanny and take him here. And I'm like, I am missing
Things.
way too much. So I closed title and real estate fully.
Was that down here? Did
Yep.
you grow up in this area?
No, I'm from Maryland, from Baltimore.
Okay.
I said with my accent, Baltimore. Where are you guys from?
I was born and raised down here.
She's
Oh,
from
you're the one.
Yeah, she's
Really?
from
Yeah.
Hollywood.
I'm from Hollywood.
Hollywood.
That was
And
my first job. in
I
Hollywood.
I made a decision in my early 30s to move to Pennsylvania and Philadelphia for 7 years. Tried it, and I'm home now.
And you're back.
Yeah.
There's a lot of my peeps down where she grew up. I was born in Montreal, so you got all the French Canadians that are down in Hallandale, huh?
So my mom was French Canadian, which is probably why we were in Hollywood. But yeah.
Oh, I would not have guessed Canada. I missed that. No accent.
No. No
accent.
No.
Yeah.
But I moved to the U.S. when I was 8. So I grew up an hour northeast of Boston, so in Maine, and came down here 20 years ago.
Okay. And I've been here on and off 30. I kept getting transferred back in my corporate America days all over the country and lived on a plane and all that fun stuff. So now I'm here. 10 years ago, I brought my best friend and business partner, Noreen Payne. I love
Okay.
that. Into real estate. We worked together back at the phone company MCI.
I remember MCA.
Yeah.
Sarah's old enough too. She remembers.
Oh, okay. No, she doesn't.
We're 3 years apart.
And I'm the oldest in the room, but we're not going to have that conversation. So we worked together in MCI. I was in sales. She was in marketing and service. So kind of worked perfectly. And we just had our 10-year anniversary. Very
amazing.
blessed.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank
Yes.
you.
So
Big congrats.
in real estate,
Sarah,
since
I
you
can't.
can't hear me,
It's probably a good thing.
it is probably a good thing. Thank you, Emmanuel.
There, now I can hear you.
Perfect. So Noreen, she's done real estate for 10 years solely as your teammate.
Correct.
Awesome. And then you did it before that,
I
title, real estate, dabbling.
I did.
Talk to me a little bit about the how that works. Do you basically sit down and say, okay, I'm really good at this. You're really good at that. Why don't you do this and I'll do that? Like, is
Yeah.
that more or less how it works?
So,
Do you do it in a funny accent like that too?
no, and I don't do it like this, but
With a
I will
dance.
do it with a dance. And you didn't have dancing as one of the hobbies. Bringing it back.
I love it.
Not really. So, and I've given advice to a lot of people who've come to me and say, I want to have a partner. What advice do you give? And I always give the same advice. You're 50-50 no matter what, no matter who's lead, no matter if it's your family member, you're 50-50 or you're starting off having problems, right?
Yeah.
We didn't set out, either one of us can jump into each other's roles, but we have very different personalities. As I always say, Noreen's the one everyone wants to go have drinks with. I'm the one behind the computer doing the analytics aspect of it. But so as time goes by, we kind of both have our areas. She's more out with buyers, although she can do the listing. I'm more running comps, doing the listings, doing the contracts, especially from my title background. I do the contracts. I do get us to the closing table. And all that kind of stuff. But
I'm the person most people would like to spend time with, whereas he's the brains behind the operation as far as on the computer and going through the details and fine-tuning things and doing the financials.
Although using your analogy, I probably would get invited for more drinks because it's a greater shot that I'll pick up the tab.
Oh, I get that. I get that.
But she's the more fun one.
Right. And that's Noreen, I always say, is the more likable one. She's on every board.
I'm the feely one. I'm the one who's going to go sit down with somebody and go and have
She's
conversation.
actually listening when you're talking, and I've already been thinking about what's next.
I'm sorry, I'm more here. Noreen is so much more there.
Perfect.
I get it.
And I love her.
Thinkers, feelers.
Yes, 100%.
Yes. I mean, there's sometimes.
Equally very smart, but just different.
Well, and
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm going to say
She
this.
backed me up.
There are times people say to me, they'll tell me what happened, someone felt, and I'll say this, I don't understand. What? I don't understand. This is what you do. But they were upset, this and that. Why is that relevant to my decision? And that's not, so it's wonderful to have Noreen to be like, Amy, they're going through a tough time. Okay, all right, let me put that human heart back in, not just the analytical
Robotic.
side.
Correct.
So I have to do that a lot now because of, you know what CEO means, right?
What?
Chief Emotional Officer.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, because everybody is gotten very soft nowadays. And so, there's a lot of emotions, but you didn't think about me when you made that decision.
All right.
So did you all ever read, and I'm going to talk about something, Janine, we talked about this morning, ever read Atlas Shrugged or Fountainhead?
No.
Ayn Rand?
Good?
Yeah, you're never going to read it because it's like 1,000 pages. But
Is it audiobook?
it won't do it justice. Have you ever heard who is John Galt? Wasn't there a John Galt in this building?
Insurance?
Yeah, you know. So John Galt was a character from Atlas Shrugged.
Okay.
You would love the book. I think you would love the book. It's more of the political
You'd have to
satire.
know how to read first.
No, oh my God, I wasn't saying that. I meant it's more the analytical, but
Yes.
there's a love story side, which is not my jam. I'm more this side.
Got it. So I like the
but
love
it's
story
that
part.
blend. No,
Yep.
I didn't mean it like that. It's the blend of the two. But I want to go on record saying something. I would not be where I am today without Noreen. We are, and probably I would guess you both are the same. It is the yin and the yang. It's how we get through the day. And, you don't resonate. Different personalities with different clients.
Yeah.
There's some people who resonate to Noreen. There's some people who resonate here and some who are happy with either one. And
I think that's a
God.
huge plus so that you can deliver to your clients. And I think that makes you guys super well-rounded. I know for us, I work in the relationship part and I bring in agents or referral partners.
Right.
And then he usually works with the buyer mostly with touching in with the agent and letting them know what's going on. But sometimes we have people that really like a very direct, black and white, clean style. And then we've got other people that really want to feel like they're important and then they mean something to us. And I think if they didn't get that immediately from him, I've had a relationship enough with them that they can come to me and say, hey, listen, my clients needed a little bit more of this, or this was perfect, or whatever. And having that buffer with me, I can kind of understand what was missing or what we need or what we excelled in and make sure that we're doing that next time so we can hang on to them and retain the clients, probably similar to what you guys have.
Absolutely. But how great is it that they feel comfortable telling you that? Because to me, that's the big
they
win.
like her.
I always tell them,
Because she
thank
goes
you.
for drinks with them.
I always tell them, thank you so much for telling me because I can't do my job effectively
exactly
unless you
right.
let me know.
Right.
And I would be so sad to know that you didn't tell me and just went somewhere else and we lost you.
Absolutely.
I would rather keep you. So thank you for telling me because now I can make us better and stronger for you.
Can I tell you something? Back from my title days, and when I would sit down with realtors, right? It's kind of similar from your perspective. And I would say to the realtors, I'm never going to say to you, we're not going to make a mistake. That's not reality.
Right.
It's not about not making mistakes. It's how you handle them and then never making that same mistake a second time.
Sure.
Right? And same, real estate is different. It's pretty much a one time, although you build relationships for the future. But your business, realtors are a big part of your business and
Absolutely.
that relationship and open dialogue. So I think the two of you with your different styles.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing we do too is that, for us, we really decided to open Sarah up into work, communicate with her what your personal needs are, what your clients' needs are. And you're not hurting my feelings. If I'm not the loan officer for you,
Right.
Not everybody wants the best. Sometimes some people want media. I'm just
That was
kidding.
really good.
I'm just kidding. But So no, but literally, like this is like so. Literally, last week I could grab my phone and read you the text, and there was a new agent that was referred to us, and they were just saying how like I wasn't as warm and on the introductory call as and part of it is that, and this is the beauty. Like Sarah gets to see what I'm doing. She sees that like loan officer is the easy part of my day. Everything else is really what I'm doing. So all of a sudden, you're in a meeting. Your mind is locked in. Think the way that you and I think. You're locked in. You're doing this. All of a sudden, now you pick up the phone. You got to answer. And so Sarah's like, I can't. She's like, you use whatever. So I take like these golf balls that I kind of like. I'm always like playing with the golf ball. I have to
so funny.
make sure I say golf balls. You need a squishy. You need something. And then it lets me get back in. And she's like, so she was giving me this suggestion. She's like, because our chairs kind of swirl around. She's like, just grab your little squishy thing and like do a spinny, like spin around.
You come back as someone
and
different.
then come back and like put your listening hat on, your feeler hat on, or whatever. And it's very
that's great advice.
She had a great moment. She had, she had a great moment.
One for the week. It's only one day. We're winning.
No, but it was because it's true. Like, you.
Well, because
when you're task oriented, it's a task. Talking to the client is no different than a task. It's like, okay, I know exactly what they need to do. And
you're like, all right, let's speed it up I
can't fluff to get to it because I know how to solve this. Mm-hmm. But can I tell you something? Someone gave me advice that was the best advice, and I know I've talked about it on my own podcast. Do not let your reaction be your response.
Ooh.
Right? So I think about our personalities. Someone coming at me, and I would think you're the same. In my younger years, I'm coming back even stronger. That was now at whatever age I am that I'm not sharing, I have the finesse enough to be like, don't react, think about it and respond. But to me, that's why I have my squishy ball at my desk that I just need a minute. I need a minute. Okay. And you go. So,
I've always been pretty good at that. I'm not reactive. Like if you're upset at me. So you know where I think it comes from? It comes from the service industry. Like you have to learn to bite your tongue.
Yeah.
And, my natural reaction is you deflect. Amy, I really apologize that you've had a bad experience. Yeah. I'd love to learn a little bit about why you feel this way.
Right.
And how, I'd like this to be a learning experience for us. And so I can make sure that we have a better experience for the next person in line.
Right.
No,
and I agree. And that I can do, but there are some days.
You get a lot more emotions sometimes than we do because your clients look to you for everything.
Right.
You're the center of everything. So it could be the financials, it could be the inspection, it could be plumbing, it could be anything.
It could be the divorce.
It could be divorce.
Really, it's everything.
It could be the death that they're selling the condo that was their parents that they haven't seen, and the mess that they have to clean out, and their brother that they can't get a hold of in a different state. But everything comes back to you. You are the therapist and the person holding all of it together for them.
Why do you think what is it about the realtor that has all people just divulging and wanting you to be their best friend?
So
don't they know that as soon as the transaction's over, you're living on with your life? It's not like you would keep amassing all these friends as you could.
But that's so funny. I was about to say something. Let me start at the end and work my way backwards. Every year we do a client appreciation party. Mm-hmm. Every year, Noreen and I send invitations, make calls, and stand there an hour before the event going, oh my God, what if no one comes? What if, it's that fear of, oh my God.
Yeah.
And we had ours this past year at the Delray Beach Club.
Mm-hmm. I was just there Friday night.
Oh, you were? Oh, yeah. I was there Friday night. I'm a member.
Really?
Wow.
Okay, we'll talk about that. So, are you a member?
I'm not. I was there for a friend's surprise birthday party.
Oh.
We were in the back there.
Were they surprised?
So everybody's food showed up. Guess whose food didn't show up? The guy comes over, he's like, I'm so sorry. We ran out of the brioche.
Were you actually invited?
Brioche meal, whatever. No, of course I was there. But anyways, it didn't matter because I was stuffed from all the appetizers, so it was fine. But anyways,
did you have the pigs in a blanket?
No, that was
because they walk around the bar with free pigs in a blanket. It's my favorite food in the whole wide world. And I'm a vegetarian, but that's a whole other conversation. But I eat pigs in a blanket.
Got it.
I know. So client appreciation party at the beach club. Over 200 people walked in the door.
Awesome.
And Noreen and I kept walking up to each other when Jerome party, you don't get to talk. Well, there's times that I have, yes, I remember faces, sometimes a name, I'm like, Noreen, because it might have been 7 years since we've worked with them. Same thing.
Yeah.
But I know the face. But my point is, it is because you get that close with people during the transaction. I mean, you're talking every day. There's times I've gotten calls at midnight and I'm at 9:30. Don't call me. You can call me at 5 o'clock in the morning, not after 9:30 at night. But if my phone rings at 11, it's a client, I'm answering because I have no boundaries. I know. I did an episode of that podcast bragging about my boundaries. They're not real. I don't have them.
I don't think any of us do. We can't. You can't in
in your
sales.
business.
You just can't.
But if they call at 11 o'clock, I'm answering. They're having anxiety. And real estate is in your business, it's a lot of anxiety, buying and selling.
I think that's why you become the therapist, is they become so close to you because
Yes.
they're dependent upon you.
And they tell us
for
everything.
Everything.
And I'm honored to be the recipient of that. There's times that it's hard for me,
To juggle everything.
well, no, to relate. I
Okay.
don't, that's not my
Yeah,
personality.
my
Get
life's not as
stressed.
messed up as yours. I don't quite understand.
See, that's where
I don't mean that.
This is where I thrive. 'cause
Yeah,
I've been
you've got
through-
drama. I'm going to
I've
need you
been
to keep
through
it
a
on
lot
that
of, like,
side of the road.
explosive life things. So when somebody comes to me, I get it. I'm like, I understand what this feels like. You're in it, and I can empathize with them because there's
I
a good
can
chance that I've
too.
probably been through it.
I can too,
see,
but I
I
move on
can't.
faster.
Your life is all over the place. I don't mean that in a bad way, but single mom, 2 kids, working, business development. Like,
Yeah.
it's go, go, go. She's on the go, go, go.
Right.
Right.
I'm the same.
I'm a loan officer who's at his desk most of the, like
Right.
8 to 6 and
No kids.
no kids,
Get to
just
go
a
out, cook
dog.
and think.
Just a dog and
don't-
some Whole Foods and some cooking.
Yeah,
Like I get
life
home
is so
and it's
simple.
just, It's another job when you get home when you're a mom.
So I don't get
100%.
But yes, but the drama itself, like, how do you deal with that?
It doesn't, there's days that I'm tired, so I'm not going to say it doesn't faze me, but when I say I truly am honored that they trust me to open up and to look to Noreen and I help me through this.
Yep.
I mean, they wouldn't come to me if they didn't trust us. And 85% of our business is referrals. That means more to me than I can tell you anything.
And it's because everybody came to you and trusted you.
And we took care of him. I mean, look, there have been times, I have a situation going on right now that something was missed during inspection. We sold their home, but this was their buy side. Stroke a check. Yeah, of course I'll stroke a check because guess what? I'm in it with you.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking for the one-time sale. I'm looking for the relationship. Not just anytime you buy or sell, but if you hear someone looking to buy or sell, I
know.
want you to think of us
Yep.
because we're people first.
Right.
I happen to be doing real estate. You happen to be doing mortgages. So
Yeah. I think if you can flip it and be like, instead of they come to me for everything or they're always leaning on me, it's I feel honored that they
do.
feel that I'm that dependable, that they trust me, that I'm going to know the answers, that I'm going to have the right connections to give them or the right answers or the relationships that I've built to kind of lead them and be that person for them.
look, someone calls me and they're asking what type of loan. I'm referring and I'm bringing in my experts, my team. That is not my area of, I mean, a little bit, but not really my area of expertise. You have to have your sphere of people that
Absolutely.
you trust.
Your team, your bench.
You have to have your team. Absolutely. And sometimes the team changes, right? I mean, sometimes you have to fire and hire. Yeah.
So let's talk contracts. Contracts.
She's like, I love contracts. Let's do this all day long.
Bring it. Yeah.
How frustrated do you get that most agents don't know how to?
So I'm going to take
Fill
a
out
deep
a
breath
contract.
before I answer this
She needs her
one.
squishy ball.
I need my squishy ball. I need my wine. I've looked at it a different way as I've grown up in this industry, right? And having been part of Women's Council, which is where we met, and I, was president for the state for Women's Council, and sometimes that was like herding cats. But it taught me a lot, especially a lot of these women.
What's Women's Council? Tell me a little bit about that. We can get back to the contracts.
Yes,
later.
Women's Council of Realtors. It's an organization. I think it's the 6th largest women's organization in the world, but I might be making that up, but we'll go with that. And it's really all focused on leadership skills. I'm going to say for women, but 30% of the organization is men that are there to learn,
Help.
support, right,
Yep.
which I love. But so many women, and we talked about this before we started today, so many women stay-at-home moms maybe, right? Or didn't have the education. I was blessed, Noreen and I both blessed to have corporate America training on how to run a business, on sales, et cetera, that they just got thrown into business. A lot of these women, they don't run it like a business. They don't know what they don't know.
Yep.
Exactly right. So I teach a lot of classes, listing strategies, contracts. I teach not from a legal perspective because I'm not an attorney, but just how to approach it strategically. It's not just to check the box. You got to think about why you're doing it and how you're setting it up. So I used to get really annoyed. So I'll get an offer on a listing and an agent will send me the offer. Half the fields are blank. And I think, why do you even think the fields are there? Just, okay. So I'll call and I'll say, hey, thank you for the offer. I'm excited to work with you. Can I ask you a question? Yes. Are you new to the business? They get offended, then I'm probably not going to give them much help because that means they've been doing it a long time and don't care to learn, in my humble opinion. But if they say I'm somewhat new, look, I help a lot of new agents. I was in your shoes. Can I go through this contract with you? Because there's a lot of holes and you need to properly protect your client. And I can't tell you how many of them have said to me, oh my God, thank you
so much.
And why that matters to me, besides human and giving back, next time I have a listing, they have a buyer, they say, oh my God, it's Amy and Noreen, what a pleasure they are to work with. Look, I got a referral today from another realtor. A realtor, I mean, who's here. And he said, I want to sell my mom's home. I think it shouldn't be me. I trust you. Can you help?
That's everything.
That's everything.
Yeah.
My absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
You know, can I have a referral? Of course you can have money for your mom. But I mean, it's all about doing the right thing. So do I get frustrated? It's hard for me to wrap my head around not seeking the knowledge to do it right the first time, but I'll help. And if they don't care for my help, we're going to have a tough time getting to closing together.
Right. But so my issue with, and it happens on both, your side and my side.
Oh, yeah.
Part-time, this is such a large and important transaction. And to have somebody who does it part-time, like, I don't have a problem with, so legally, like what just happened, the example you gave is exactly how it should work. Now, that doesn't mean this person was a part-time. There was some other reason why, other motivation, not where I was going, but the concept of, for us, if you're not doing enough transactions, I don't want you on the phone with the buyer, and I don't want you on the phone with the agents either, because you're going to misrepresent yourself, whether you know it or not.
Right. And
you're definitely misrepresenting me and everybody behind me who's all part of our team.
Right.
So, but it's a problem in real estate.
Yes, it is.
You have tons of people who do 2 transactions a year, and somehow you think Betty Bob has a clue how to negotiate, a clue how to look at, how to fill out a contract, which they don't. So here's another pet peeve. Well, we're going into pet peeves. Why do people have transaction coordinators when they do 1 transaction a month?
I know. I couldn't survive without my transaction coordinator. However, but I agree.
But what do you use your transaction coordinator for, and what are you doing when not? Are you sitting back doing one of these?
Eating bonbons? No.
Or you doing higher,
highest and best use.
Value? Yes.
Yes. So,
Amy, you and I are going to be
guys are the same person.
So a couple things there. Not only do Noreen and I have a transaction coordinator, we have a full-time assistant. So let's talk about that for a second.
What activities do you have them do?
She's about to tell us.
I promise I'll get there. Can I say one thing before I do?
Of course.
Thank you. Now I don't know what it was. Okay, give me 1 second.
Sarah always interrupts me too. I get it.
Highest best use of your time.
I know what I was going to say. I say this when I'm on listing appointments. Very easy to get your real estate license. Way too easy, but very hard to make a living. Right? And it's true. I will take over listings of an expired listing, whatever it might be, and I look at the listing and I'm like, it kills me, and I don't want to tell the seller, but this agent did not do the right thing for the seller. I mean, there was misinformation. I mean, I have one right now that I looked at the listing before I went, it said there was a pool. There's no pool. I'm like, wow, right? So assistant transaction coordinator. If I am sitting at my desk 24 hours a day, well, let's talk about boundaries. If I'm sitting at my desk 10 hours a day, and I'm reviewing contracts, I write my own contracts. That I will always do. But there has to be checks and balances. So transaction coordinator, I want her to check my work. Hey, I'm in a hurry. I missed a box. I know to check the box. I missed it. I'm human. It happens, right?
Yeah.
I want her managing the milestones. I want her doing the timelines. If I'm worried about the dates, I'm not doing something else that a client needs me to do or to grow our business, right? So she's transactional. Our assistant, we just had a talk about this today. Every Monday morning we have a team meeting. And today she was writing notes about something during the call. So I said to her, I love you. No one could care more about our business, and we are blessed. But no, don't slow me down. You write the notes and you take care of the issues when we get off the call because I got to go see a client. So it's helping us and freeing us up for our highest and best use, which is really being out in front of clients, sellers, buyers, or for me, writing a contract, negotiating, running comps, something that isn't transactional, that takes my expertise.
Right.
Paige is our assistant. I mean, God, are we blessed with her? But she'll help our social media team with social media. She's out making copies of keys and putting supers on today. Those things that shouldn't be Noreen or I. But if I need her to go open up a house and, open the door, she can't answer questions unlicensed. She represents us well. She's dressed to the nines, which is important to us. And I trust her.
Yeah, she's an extension of you guys.
Yeah.
You should do your phone calls so she doesn't have to take notes. Just use one of those AI, like it gives you a whole.
Oh, yeah, but then I can't curse really. Well, I guess I could.
You could. It's on an app.
So it summarizes, but then you get to like undo. You can remove anything you want.
Oh, I like that.
All the notes are done. All the notes are super simple.
That's a great point. Thank you. That's a great point.
Well, because listen, we do have to think about, I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about all the job. They were talking more so on the mortgage side than they were on the real estate side, but it's the same thing's going to happen. They were predicting how many of the jobs and what percentage of those jobs will be gone.
Replaced by AI.
And so they were talking, in the life of the origination of a loan. You have a loan officer, you have a loan officer assistant. The file goes into processing at some point. There's income verifications, asset verifications. All of that's we're using a ton of automation already. The closing departments, underwriting, like so many of those things. And, the idea from our perspective, owners of the companies, is that the cost to originate a loan can be very expensive, and people are constantly working on how to reduce that cost to make it either you're passing down some of those savings. We know that's not really how most people are going to think. It's just going to be more profitable, but nonetheless, we'll see however it works. But the idea is to cut all these costs in AI. Well, what are people going to do? And, you start thinking about, and this is where, for me, like this is my job. My job is to think about the future. And on your end, what you guys have is you have an opportunity where it's not that people won't buy directly from a Zillow or from a Redfin, but a house because of the relationship piece with the realtor. And for me, what I would do if I were an agent, this is when I would dig in even more about trying to figure out how to create such a memorable experience.
Absolutely.
And this is why I love this. So this is as a title person. So biggest opportunity we have is closings. Mm-hmm. The closings are never as smooth as they should be for 5,000 different reasons. Mm-hmm. Most title companies don't read lenders' instructions. Mm-hmm. They just assume they know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So, and then all of a sudden, so they don't time it, they don't place it. Then there's the finger pointing game. Oh, well, we're waiting on the lender. And I'm like, well, right. 500 different things can happen. Anyways, my point is that you have such an awesome transaction, and then we don't really emphasize the finish, and I forget what book I was reading, but it was a book, and they were talking about, or a podcast or Audible, I should say. And they were talking about how the best part about going on the Oprah show, if you were a guest, is Oprah also sent you home in a limo. She didn't just pick you up.
Right.
She it was from start to finish,
and that matters.
And then not, you don't just at the end, hey, my check, where's my check, ready to go, thinking, yes.
Oh my God, think about, and I don't even know what the statistic is, but it was such a 80%. It was such a high number of consumers say they would use the realtor again that they use, but they don't remember who they are.
Right.
100%.
That is mind-boggling to me.
It's no different in mortgages.
Absolutely. So I think about this. I think about this a lot. And one of the things that we do, do you all use a CRM? Mm-hmm. I assume, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that we created with our, if I say action plans, right, how you stay in touch.
Workflows.
with our client is we created a past client action plan. So after closing, it is get their birthday, anniversary, get those dates in there, their forwarding address, get their Zillow review, and then it is a year-long action plan to stay in touch because we've built this relationship, as we talked about earlier. And then after that, they roll to another action plan that is 33 times that we touch them a year. That's from a Keller Williams model that I love. So it's about, the relationship and staying in touch. But on the AI point, and I think about this, when I had my title company, I was blown away as how many realtors and lenders never step foot in the closing room.
It's such a missed opportunity.
It's such a missed opportunity. And for the person doing the closing, like when I used to train my people, it's about the finesse. It's about the finesse. You do not throw that mortgage broker under the bus.
No,
Remember the
your
day of yield
team.
spreads? Oh my God, I had to keep my mouth shut during that. But I know, sorry.
You don't have to look at me.
Okay, you
There's
had
a
to
reason
smile.
I'm a mortgage banker, not, a broker.
Oh my gosh, that was anyway. From AI, I look at RPR, which is a software realtors can use to run comps. I don't use that; I run it manually. Right? Look at Zillow; they're all algorithms. They're AI figuring out what a home's worth. But what they don't know is where the house is situated on the lake. What they don't know is the high-end flooring that was put in, or these extra nuances that make a difference when someone walks in that door versus a house next door. So to tell me that we'll be replaced by AI for that aspect, not for a good agent. For some agents, yeah, okay. But not an agent who, I run comps on a spreadsheet because that's how my mind works. So I don't come in with these pretty graphs and all these pretty stuff. I come in with data that's sitting
But it's
behind
real
it.
information.
It's the contract piece that will go away. So you'll be able to, when you fill out it will automatically ask just some simple worded questions
That it could fill out.
in a language that someone can understand. Financing expressed as a dollar amount is a complicated question I get called on. It's not supposed to be very complicated. It's a little joke, but the audience didn't laugh.
What do you mean? Someone doesn't understand that.
Lots of people don't understand that one.
Okay.
So it's really simple,
Right.
right? You're putting 20% down. Great. The answer is 80.
80.
Value. But anyways, so my point is that
A very geeky conversation.
yes,
Right?
AI is going to direct someone to kind of fill all that stuff out.
And that's fine. It'll stop.
The
They're
loan
still going to want to
applications.
talk to a person, though. They're
The
still going to
loan
want to.
application will be incredibly intuitive, and it will be super simple. You'll attach your income. You say yes. All right. So hold on. I hear you. I agree that we've got to figure out how to maintain the human element, but don't fool yourself. Don't kid yourself. People will hit that easy button all day long if they can.
Agreed. But who are they calling at 11 o'clock at night when they're panicking?
But
that's my
I'm
pitch.
not in disagreement.
Right? That wasn't an argument with you. It was just, you're right. But our education to the consumer is, you're right. There are some aspects that you can use AI, but the human part is not being replaced. It's not. Oh my God, all of a sudden I'm getting divorced. I didn't know I was getting divorced. My husband left me. I'm in the middle of buying this house. What do? Let me help you.
AI will be like, press 1 for da-da-da.
Hire an attorney.
Do you
Press
want him
2
to
for legal.
disappear?
Press
How
3
would you like
to end
him
this
to
call.
disappear?
Press 4 for Spanish.
Do you want it clean or do you want it public?
Does he have a girlfriend? But that's a whole other idea.
I just finished watching. Have you watched this show called The Better Sister?
No.
No.
Great.
It's
Really?
fantastic.
I'm
It was
watching
really
Sirens
good.
right
On what?
now.
Oh, I just saw that. I didn't want to tell you I'm watching. You'll make fun of me, but go.
No, wait,
It's
tell me,
with-
because I like all the.
Nope. I just finished watching The Warrior Nun. Would you like to
even
know
heard
why?
of it.
Okay, do you remember Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yes.
I loved it. It's a kick-ass girl. It's
Yes.
The Warrior Nun's like a version
All right,
of
I'm gonna
that.
watch it
She
next.
she kicked butt. It was really good. Sorry.
So did you watch Sirens or no?
No, that's my next. It just
Sirens
came up.
is
Is it good?
Did you see The Perfect Couple?
I loved them.
Okay, so it's similar-ish, has some differences, but it's a
Does it have
wealthier.
the dance? No.
No, there's no dance.
I wanna
No,
know.
it has some other weird stuff, but it's wealthy
Is it good?
couple, beach house, summer
I'm starting
situation.
tonight because I finished
Yeah, yeah.
the other
Go
one
Better
last night.
Sister first.
Really? What, Netflix too?
What's streaming?
Amazon.
Oh, I have that.
So it's Jessica Biel. She's a powerhouse. There's a few other actors that you'll recognize. It's great. It's a murder
loved her.
mystery. You have no idea what's going
Oh,
on.
I
it's
like that.
scary.
It's not scary, Sarah.
I live alone.
I say the same
show.
thing. I can't watch like horror but I can watch mystery.
It's not scary. It's not scary whatsoever. It's nothing like that. It's just
I've heard it's great. I've heard
it's fantastic.
The Better Sisters?
The Better Sister.
The Better Sister.
Yes, and it's just very thoughtful. There's like you'll love it. It's
Okay. So now I have
the
two.
girls win at the end. So
Okay. All
right,
don't want to
then I'll
ruin it
watch
for
it.
you.
Then I'll watch
You're
it.
gonna love it.
And I'm also watching Friends and Neighbors. Neighbors
Yeah,
and
that's
Friends.
good.
Oh, I didn't see
I
that.
thought it was finished, but apparently there's 2 more episodes that just came out. So I'm pumped.
Cool. All right. So when we're not watching TV, what else do you like to do? I heard you like to be philanthropic. Do you like that segue? Wasn't that,
That was really-
perfect?
that was
Pretty
very good,
smooth.
actually.
That was very smooth.
So
I'll give you one.
love to dance. That's my number one.
Ooh,
to
like
dance.
ballroom
What kind of
dancing?
dancing?
Oh, like just go out and dance.
So I found this great place up in Northwood in West Palm. It's
Mary
called
Lou's.
Cafe Centro.
Okay.
Have you ever
Do
heard
you
of it?
live in Delray?
No, I did. No, I'm up in Atlantis.
Okay.
Lantana, Congress City, own city, David City. My office is in Delray, but
Yes.
Cafe Centro is this. It's this restaurant that has 2 sides to it. This side has live jazz music. This side has live piano, but that's the bar side.
Okay.
So you go in, you're eating dinner. The food's kind of eclectic. It's kind of cool. The place kind of eclectic, and then all of a sudden the performer starts playing music, and then all of a sudden people are up dancing around you. As people pay their bill, the tables are moved, and ends up, and the guy's jumping on the bar, and it is just you're up dancing, and it's all walks of life, which I love.
I love that.
It's just any and everyone, and everyone I've brought there is like, oh my God. I'm
This
like,
is
yeah,
amazing.
I would say, don't tell too many people, but here I am saying it on, darn it.
in front of our millions of
Strategic.
audience too.
But philanthropic, to answer your question.
Okay. So let's talk about that.
So Noreen is probably the most giving, generous person. She is, I don't know how she finds the time. She's on every board, donates her time, delivers food to shut-ins on 1 day a week, just involved in everything. And I will say, while I grew up, giving, donating, this and that, that wasn't my life. She has taught me how important, I'm an animal person, so I always gave money to animal rescue. I can't really volunteer because I'll come home with 20 dogs, but I can give money. Know your weakness, know your strength.
For sure.
But she has taught me how important it is to give back to the community that supports you. Women's Council of Realtors ended up being somewhat of a full-time job, but that was my community give back that ended up being one of the most rewarding experiences. Exhausting. I've never learned more leading volunteers. I've led employees. I've been in leadership since I was 22 years old. Very different when you have the higher fire stick or whatnot versus volunteers. It just honed my skills. It was one of the best things. But out of that came her way to lead, to help women, and then Beyond the Juggle, which is my podcast about leadership that was intended for women, is now really morphed into for everyone. So I love that. But I teach a lot of classes, volunteer, and give a lot of time. I am vice chair of the community outreach for Lang, and we do some really cool stuff, which I'm proud of. So hard to find the time, very important to devote the time.
Yeah, I agree.
Are you involved a lot, I'm sure, in the community?
No, I like to keep all the money myself.
I lobbed that to you on that one.
Yes. So I always very generous as much as we can be. Company, like I'm speaking more for myself than company. Company-wise, we used to try to do an event every quarter and try and get as many people together as we can. One of the dilemmas that occurs is that unlike, your office where you have X amount of agents locally,
Right.
80% of our company doesn't come into the office, doesn't live in Boca.
Right.
I have employees in Oklahoma and Arizona. They're everywhere.
Right.
So you get to have, so it gets to be a little harder to do that. So we'll see. But ironically, it made me think when you were talking about Noreen, there's, I can't quite comment because the deal isn't quite wet
Not
and
inked
inked
yet?
yet.
Okay.
But there's an individual that we are bringing on who is the biggest teddy bear you've ever met. And when I listen to his stories, of, like just everything that, like how, now he's an empath like Sarah, he's a feeler like Sarah, like I'm not. But then I'm
He's
like,
one of those.
he's one of those people.
Can't relate
But you know what it does though? Because I do have a heart inside, He
does. Emmanuel's he's actually much more sensitive than he lets on in a lot of aspects of his life, just not in business.
I understand.
And you can't show it in public either. So, but that's a man thing.
have
There's no
moments.
reason
It's a man
to show
thing
it
at
in
my
public,
age.
though,
10 years from now, maybe
Oh my God, you're
I'll
going to be
show
crying
weakness.
everywhere.
Yeah, but that'll be 20 years from now. But it's like he was here visiting and we were just talking about a friend of his and how he adopted this kid and, the kid had cancer his entire, it had like 4 bouts of cancer and just an awful, awful life. And like, what are you doing adopting? Like you have a wife and kids of your own. And like, and he just, I literally, and I said it to him last time I was here, I'm like, dude, you make me feel so, the right word is, it's not worthy, but it's like, I have more means than you do.
Right.
And I'm doing a lot. And I don't have the time obligations of being married or having kids or all that stuff. I'm like, I feel like I'm so under, not giving, I guess.
Underserving.
My potential is not being met in the philanthropic side
What are we doing
of
about
my...
that?
But can I throw out
I start my own foundation that allows me to get a tax benefit.
But you know what you could do with people all around? That was good. All around, people all around. Why can't you say, you know what, let's do a drive for local animal shelters. I'm just picking animals. Have a sign outside so people in the other offices see it. Please drop off towels, drop off blankets. And then in each one of your respective offices, or if they work from home, find a local shelter to drop it off.
We could do that.
Pictures posted
You
on
have
social
to
media.
be emotional about it, though. I feel like, so for me, like when there is a cause, and it's been a while since I've felt a way about it.
What speaks to you?
I don't know. I mean,
You have a dog or no?
Yes.
oh yeah.
Okay.
Pride and joy.
Yeah, but she's not a rescue.
Well, that's okay. She's
made
still a dog.
perfectly for me.
But can I tell you something? What if the person who had her, what kind of dog? I just need to know.
She's a golden retriever.
Oh, I have a golden doodle, 2 of them.
She's
Okay.
beautiful.
They're the
I'll
best
show you a
dogs.
picture when I'm done.
What's her name?
Boo Boo.
It is not. It is? Okay, so what if Boo Boo, what if Boo Boo, I got it, I don't know, what if your dog, what if it was given to someone else, it wasn't your dog, and they abused Boo Boo? It's hard to say.
They tied her up outside.
But I mean
they
it.
left her
I
out
rescued a
there.
dog. It was
They
I'm gonna start
hit her
laughing.
with a frying pan.
Okay, but what a different life Boo Boo would have.
No, but I mean,
But
I
my
get
point,
where
though, is-
you're going, but
Right.
like, all right.
Okay.
So, at the same token, like, let's hop on a plane. I'll bring you to India, and like, you're never
But
gonna
that's
want
not
to keep.
realistic for me.
Well, neither is saving every dog.
But you can't save every dog.
But
That's
you
not
can do
realistic.
stuff for
But
the
you could do
dogs that
something
are
to help
not
dogs
having
in
the
a
best
shelter.
life.
We've got to introduce you to Marlo,
So it's like
our
for me.
underwriting manager, Marlo. She's big on the dog rescue stuff.
I like.
So growing up, my brother, sister, and I, we had a very normal but very healthy, loving life. We had 2 parents that loved us, and we had food on the table every night and shelter and all the things. My mom was huge, huge in volunteering for women's shelter, women in distress, women and kids in distress, the Christmas in July stuff, kids that were misplaced, foster homes. She didn't have kids that were being mistreated, but she had a very big heart and drive to help those that didn't have what her kids were fortunate to have or what she was fortunate enough to give her kids.
So with all those lessons, what are you championing?
You're an asshole, you know that? I'm championing my own kids.
Got it. Okay.
But so as a kid growing up, we did a lot we belonged to a church and we did a lot with that. And she always kind of instilled in us. Now, I've taken my kids to different things that we've done through the YMCA or through different organizations. And they've had to go and like we've, donated toys and we've done a Christmas in July a couple times and stuff like that. So I think it's just being able to get involved. Could I do more? Yes, totally guilty of it. Right now, I'm a little... I'm at my almost max between work,
Yeah,
kids.
you're in the throes of it, though. That's different. It's not something you have to do all the time. There are phases of life that you can.
Yes.
And phases of life that you can't.
1,000%. I did community outreach. I did a bunch of stuff with Our World. I did 3 years of committees. And it's not to say that I'm done, but just right now,
State mandated community outreach is not the same thing, Sarah.
I was painting houses and I was redoing the inside and stuff.
right over
What
her
did you
head.
say? Oh, state manned because of my
Meaning
record.
meaning like you, a
Which I
judge
don't
ordered
have.
it.
I don't
I could
have
have
a
said
record.
judge ordered would have been funnier too. but-
Yeah.
Oh my God. Sure, there's a story
We
on that.
did.
but-
No. She's never been in trouble. I'm just
Squeaky
kidding.
clean.
So, Christie House. Are you familiar with that one? So we did donate there one time, and we went down to a gala, which was fun. But that one was. So they'll never hear from us, but so it's a really sad, meaning the CEO is not going to watch this, I hope, but whoever she was, I don't remember her name.
Oh, boy.
So this was
story.
about trafficking. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is here, you want to talk about something like, I forget the movie. What was that movie that
didn't
just
watch
came
it.
out? Whatever that movie was that came
Yes,
out with, it's
it was
about human trafficking, child trafficking. It starts out like, it will make you cry and it'll make you angry, right? That this happens everywhere. And so the whole concept of human trafficking, I don't think you have to be an empath to feel for
how hard.
someone not having access to their own body, their own country, their own language. I mean, 5,000 different things. And the CEO gets up there and we're all at the gala and, she's like, and starts her speech. And it was, I won't say exactly what she said, but it was such a soft version, like hers on a scale of 1 to 10, what she was calling a personal experience was really like a 0.5
I get it.
compared to
Really hope she's not watching. Yes.
I
it was
love
just
that you're rating people's trauma.
Nobody
I mean, Sarah, I don't want to say it on air because I don't want to get into the version of it. But
I get it.
basically, actually, you know what? Screw it. I'll say it.
Oh, boy.
She was in college, and a guy was interested in her. And after dating for 3 months, made an attempt at her, and she felt almost violated was the term she was using. And we're like, one, you're dating the person. Two,
3 months.
What do you think? What do you? Well, I mean,
What'd you do for the first 2
Yeah,
months?
right. I was just asking.
and it's like, so you're trying not to make too many jokes. We were all laughing at the table.
Right.
And at the same token,
she was
listen,
traumatized for whatever reason.
whatever. So yes, the perception is whatever it is for you. But for us, you weren't raped. This wasn't anything this is natural course of events. Boy likes girl.
Right.
Boy attempts to be with girl. It's going to happen from here on out forever.
And you're
Usually
like,
before
damn,
3 months.
I need to
But yeah.
extend my
And you dated
timeline now.
this isn't somebody you didn't know. This is anyway. So it was just, that's why I was saying it was it's hard to go back and give them money because of, not for the traffic people, because the CEO story was so bad. But that was a really good cause.
Well, and I'll tell you something. It was a great cause. Very proud of you for that. But let me add this. When I was at Women's Council, I brought in an organization because we were going to support, and it was on human trafficking. And I can't remember, it was called the Red Bag Project. It's terrible. I can't remember. But it really was when they rescued these girls, mostly girls, right? They didn't have anything to put their clothes in. They didn't have any dignity, so they would bring a suitcase for them to load stuff up. But the one thing they taught me, they were speaking, and I was like, how did I not make this connection? They were saying when you go look at homes and the lock to the doors on the outside, you need to pause. And I was like, yeah, to a bedroom. And I was like, oh my God, I see that. It never dawned on me to, I don't know. I mean, granted, you can't run and turn everyone in every house that has a lock on the outside, but that's unusual. So they started with this list of telltale signs, and I'm like, I bet there's so many more people we could help as realtors.
Just by awareness.
Just by awareness.
Yeah.
So maybe it's an awareness campaign that you all do. Just throwing out some ideas.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to be the
Well, it doesn't have to be human trafficking. I just meant
No, just meaning
Just
in
stick
general.
with dogs and boo-boo.
and boo-boo.
No, Boo Boo's good. She's got a good life.
I know.
What do you do with boo-boo during the day when you
Oh, what do you do with boo-boo during the day, Emmanuel?
Well, glad you asked, Amy. She has a nanny.
Does she really? Mine goes to doggy daycare, so I'm no better, but I get it.
Yes, she has a nanny Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. But Boo Boo is well taken care of. She's my princess. And
Swear, I found the nanny.
the nanny's fantastic.
Good.
Yeah.
She's up to 9 to 5 every day.
Yeah, but she my house is spotless.
Oh,
and,
she
like,
cleans, so
She
she's...
dry
She's like a
cleaning.
house manager, dog
house
nanny.
manager.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
The initial drive was Boo Boo needs somebody to take care of her all day, but also while she's there, can she clean,
do my
take in
shopping, do my
packages,
errands? I get it. I have
do
one.
stuff.
The person whom I love, part of my family, used to take care of my son. He grew up. He's 16 now. I have her helping with the dog, doing all that stuff.
Yeah, I wish I had
Highest
mine
and
back.
best use. Highest and best use.
It's one of my favorite sayings, Amy. It really is.
Yeah.
I love highest and best use.
I agree.
What's next for Amy? What's next for Amy and Noreen? Do you guys want to keep doing real estate for another 20 years?
And I want to hear about the podcast too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I want you to plug it and then tell me a little bit about it as well.
I always say I'm not going to retire. I'm going to expire. I have no desire to stop working.
Me
I
neither.
love what I do.
Yeah,
I
same.
love helping people. Love making money.
He's making that face at me, not you.
Yes.
100% me.
He can
You
make
would
it.
retire in 2 minutes if you had enough money.
I would be so bored. I've always said
You wouldn't be bored.
I've always said this, and I've said this to you many times. If I won the lotto, I would take some of the money, I would put it into this company, I would want partnership, and I would see what we would need to take us to the next level, and I would continue to work.
I drive a hard bargain.
That's okay. I'll have
You're
all
gonna
the
pony up?
How
control
awesome
with
is
all the
that,
money.
So what next 20 years? I don't know. We talk about, when we started this, I'm like,
What's the name of it?
Well, the Amy and Noreen team.
Amy and Noreen team.
No, I'm sorry. I thought
Oh, you know
were
the
talking about
podcast?
I'm sorry.
I haven't
there
segued
yet.
yet. Not there yet.
No. My fault.
Amy and Noreen
I
team.
get distracted about Sarah writing me a check. I was like, whoa, what a dream come true.
Where was I even going with that? Oh, when I left title, and again, back corporate America days, I had people working for me. I came into real estate. I said, I do not want any employees. People say to me all the time, do you want your own brokerage? I do not.
No,
I don't. I just don't.
Yeah.
But, I talked about helping other agents, so we get those calls all the time. Can I join the team? So a little bit, we've had someone here and there, but I don't have a desire to grow a big team. I really don't.
If somebody's a right fit and it makes sense, possibly, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. That's not my goal right now. I'm just enjoying, the business that we have, growing the business. We increase our goals every year. That's important. I don't believe in missing goals. It's not acceptable. So it's how do you revise the business plan to make sure you at least hit, if not exceed, your goals, right? So I like that part. I love the business. I love the business plans. I love that side of it. The podcast, when I relinquished my roles in Women's Council, which took a lot of my time, but I didn't realize how much of my heart and my soul it filled, the giving back and helping. I mean, the calls I would get from some of these women who I helped or who heard me speak, and I didn't realize how much it fed my soul. I just didn't. So I missed it. And people would call me for coaching, and I don't have time nor real desire to do one-on-one coaching. I mean, I'm busy. So I'm like, I'm just going to, I don't remember how it started with Janine, but I'm going to start I was a guest on Allison Sullivan's podcast, and I was like, oh, I have something to say. I mean, really, I'm not monetizing this. I'm not really sure where it's going right now. I'm just so enjoying.
You don't get paid for yours?
Not yet. Oh. You get paid for yours?
A lot of money. How do you think I got that truck?
Oh, yeah, that pickup truck. But I love it. It's really all about, it's called Beyond the Juggle. It is about, especially for women, we're juggling so many different things, but have to keep moving it forward. And we, all humans, but again, when I started this, it was for women. We have a hard time saying no.
Yep.
Right? We have can you take this on? Can you chair this? Okay. Oh my God, I don't want to do that. Okay.
Not
right?
the CEO I was just talking about.
No. But so it's really been lessons, so bad. Lessons in leadership. And just the latest ones was about purpose. This morning I had a guest on, and that one will air a couple weeks. Andre. Andre is a gentleman who ended up being very dear to me in life. Andre was homeless. I walked into the Delray Beach Library one day, and there was a man in tattered clothes. They met him today, sitting at the piano, eyes closed, playing the most magnificent music you've ever heard. And I was like, I went to my meeting. I came out of my meeting, and I'm like, who's that guy? I wanted to see if I can get him to play at this event I'm having. They said, oh, he's a homeless guy. He wanders in every now and then. So I said, well, here's my card. Next time he wanders in, have him call me. I'd love to hire him. I did not expect to ever hear from him. He called. Would you agree that he is one of the most, college educated, one of the most intellectual, wise, old soul people that came into my life? So this is a man at age 68, and he gave me permission to say it, is just starting therapy for abuse from when he was young that he had just buried. which caused so many issues in his life. So how incredible at 68. So I had him on as a guest. You know why people are struggling out in the world today? I had him on a guest to show, it doesn't matter your age, where you are in life, no matter who you are in life, you know, we all have a purpose. And if you don't know what your purpose is, find it.
Right.
So it's that kind of stuff. Just if I can help one person, I'm elated.
So you do have a feel side.
I have a feel side. I don't lead with my feel side. You have
you
a
don't
feel
bring it-
side. We don't lead with it.
You don't bring it to business.
I do not bring it to
Right.
business.
That's the difference. I bring mine to business. It's a lot
yeah.
it's a lot of my business.
I get it.
Yeah.
But
He or she who cares least will always win in negotiations.
Yeah, so I'm not negotiating with people. I'm bringing them in to send us the business.
agree.
You're negotiating.
I understand that.
Can I
We're
tell you
talking
something?
about why we're master negotiators?
Noreen will say to me sometimes, because Noreen is the feeling, right? You're the feeling,
Yes.
right? Doesn't mean we don't feel. It's just that's not where we lead, right? So Noreen will say to me sometimes, I don't know how you slept last night with XYZ on the table. Like, slept like baby, didn't faze me at all. Wake up and back at it the next day. I have the ability to shut it off.
Yeah.
You would've
Which
been
is good
at
and
the
not
dating
good.
game.
I'm single, that's why.
No,
But
you would've been
nevertheless.
good at the chase game if you can figure out how to.
Oh, yeah. For sure. For sure. But
I'm learning.
yeah, it sucks. But the biggest thing I've learned is just because we don't show feelings doesn't mean we don't have them.
100%.
I would venture to say we feel more than most people. We just don't show it in public,
1000% agree.
right?
Kind of why
Hence
I keep
the dog.
Sarah around so she can tell people I have
People ask me,
feelings.
people ask me all the time. They're like, "How is it working for him? Is he scary? Is he intimidating to you?" And I'm like, "What? No, God. If anything, I'm the one who's badgering him all the time about stuff. He's not. He's actually more funny and more
Yes.
sensitive and sentimental than he ever lets on. And I'm very happy to have conversations with him that are fun or difficult or, you know,
And he can because
and
you
we
have different
can.
styles.
Correct.
But you
And
know
we-
what the telltale is? Boo-boo.
oh, well,
That's
yeah.
how you know the heart. Watch me with my dogs and you'll know it's in me. I am capable.
Oh, the second he talks, I mean, if he's on the phone with you and she walks in the room, his whole voice changes.
Oh,
his
yeah.
whole, his whole
I do
demeanor.
know.
Oh, boo, come here. Oh,
I don't even want to show you the video I recorded last night with my dog here with her head on me, and this is me. You know, it's just
Did the same thing. So mine's not cuddly. Okay,
She
So,
is
like,
with women.
she's like 80 pounds, and like
lesbian.
I have to grab her
1000%.
and like bring her over, and like but like once she's there, she stayed. And I was like,
happy.
oh, all right.
Yeah,
And
don't
then,
move,
like,
don't move.
I would pat her for a little bit. I'm like, oh, I got a moment.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's the phone?
I get it.
Where's the phone?
get
And then I'm like doing one of these little selfies like this, and of course I look like crap, but the
Doesn't
dog
matter. We're
looks
not
great.
important. That's exactly right.
Dog looks great.
That's how it is with babies, though. When I had babies, I was like, I wish I had a GoPro because all the cute moments
I know.
happen. And then I grab my camera and they're
It's
like,
like over.
They're gone.
gone.
I know.
And I'm like, man, they really do
good.
smile at me. I
know.
promise.
I know. And I don't cry all the time as a new mom.
Yeah, right?
Oh my God. That's hard. I went back to work day 3.
I went back to work.
horrible.
At the time I was working for Marriott and I was corporate and I was area sales nationwide. So I traveled a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget, after my son was born, I went to one of the largest conventions that we went to yearly. And I think that year was in Denver. I lived in Pennsylvania at the time. And I'm in the convention and every hour I'm going to a bathroom stall to pump. And just like, he was maybe 6 weeks old. And it was, I just remember I was emotional and hormonal and crying and he was half the country away from me and I was still breastfeeding at the time. It was, and I was there for 5 days, I think. It was
Imagine
magic.
if you guys
picked
knew each
Boo-Boo
other
up on the
then.
weekend, and I didn't take any
Madness.
time off personally. So, some of us have our priorities. Nailed it.
I was on vacation, obviously. It was my maternity leave.
Yes. Yes. Very vacation.
Yeah.
So, it's funny. So, like living in Delray, there's a lot of homeless people that we see, and that's not the funny part. But the none of this is really funny. But I'm second guessing my own choice of
We need
words.
to open that a little differently.
I know.
Before we go into that, so the guest that you had today, does he now work? Is he now? No.
But he's a veteran.
Okay.
So he has an apartment now.
Okay.
I actually picked him up this morning and drove him there. I love where he is. And he's been in other places. I picked him up. I'm like, oh my God, I don't like it here. It was just not anyway, he's in a good place. He's in therapy. Yeah, he's in
So
a
he's
good
doing
place.
things. Good.
He's doing things. He is a master musician and artist. I'm saying it. It's hard to describe. You wouldn't believe it if I played it for you. But he can't. He's not going to hold down that steady job because it's no longer his art. It's a job, and he loses his passion. Right. But he doesn't want to be homeless again, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And he's doing a
Do you
lot
think
of
anybody does?
I don't think he cared 10 years ago. I knew him when he was in a place. He goes, I'm just going back in the street. This is too tough here.
Yeah, I think
That
some
was his
people,
comfort. He
I
knew
think
how
some
to
people
survive.
are comfortable there. It's just like a lot of people, they don't want to go to prison, but they are there
Right.
for so long that they come out and they're
They know
like,
how to survive.
I was so much
Right.
happier there.
Right.
I was comfortable there.
Yeah,
It was
he
safe.
knew how to, he would shower at the VA. He'd go down the library and play piano. He had a life. But now that he's getting healthy mentally and
He's realizing
in
that
somewhere,
he wants more.
Right.
What percentage of homeless people do you think have? Do you think is it based more on a mental
Funny, we talked about it.
proclivity than it is?
word.
Like,
Good word. Very good word. So he, so funny story, and I shared it this morning on the podcast. There was this homeless guy outside of my neighborhood that I would see wearing a long trench coat with shoes that were all open at the bottom, like they were trashed. So I went and got a pair of slippers, and I kept trying to get to this guy to give him the slippers. And finally, he was standing in the median. I pulled up, and I look at him, and I'm like, "Hi, I've been looking for you. I see you. I have shoes." And he looks at me, goes, "Is that a BMW?" Well, yeah, I'm in my car. He goes, "Okay." I'm like, "I have shoes." He goes, "I don't know what." And I'm like, I have shoes. Why do I want your shoes? Leave me be. Leave me alone.
Okay.
And he turned around and walked away, and I was like devastated.
Yeah.
So I called Andre. And I told him the story. He goes, "You can't just walk up and talk to homeless people. They're crazy." And I'm like, "You were homeless." And he goes, "I'm not the norm. Please don't do that again." And I'm like,
Okay.
I'm a little confused. But like, I would think many, I'm guessing,
Yeah, I would tend to
60% are
agree.
mental. And he talked about it today, how they're left behind. They're not getting the help. He even said, give them a pill, minimum therapy. And guess what? They're back out on the street because they're not getting the real help.
Yeah.
Oh, that may feel passionate about this. We'll see what I do with this subject.
with me?
No, about homelessness.
Oh, this is your passion.
Well, I'm just saying, as I'm saying it, I realize I'm having emotion.
I struggle with it. I struggle with the homeless thing because
You can help yourself. Like the people
Not
with
everybody
will
can.
work money. I know.
Not everybody can help themselves. Though. Not
So-
everybody. We talk about this. A lot. This bothers me.
no, but this is a good one. This is a good one. So I'm very generous, but I like to help people over
Yes.
the edge.
Right.
I will pick you up as long as you make an effort
I agree.
to help yourself up. Like that's the person I want to invest in. You're short on this. You I
will
just
remember this
hate
conversation.
entitlement. I hate entitlement. You know, you want to go to college and you worked 2 jobs all summer long and you saved all your money. Perfect. That's the kid I want to help.
That's exactly right. I'll pay the difference.
You know, like for me has always anybody you're a single mom and you're doing this or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Like as long as you've made the effort, you know, I think for me, that's where there's more compassion to want to be generous in help.
So, like a grant program is something that you would buy into.
Well, no, the foundation's better because there's
What's
tax
the foundation
benefits.
called?
So when you start a foundation,
Oh no, I know what happens, but
Yeah.
what are you going to call
you
the
put your
foundation?
money in the foundation, and then as long as you give 10%
Boo-boo
away,
aid.
you don't pay any taxes on it. No, so this, you know, the sad reality is Boo Boo's not going to be around forever.
You have to
But that's
clone her,
how you-
obviously.
I'm going to be here a lot longer, well, hopefully. Never know, knock on wood. But yeah, in theory, I should be here around a little longer.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I don't know what my number one thing would be. I guess, you know, children with cancer is probably the hardest to
I
watch.
can't even.
You know, like if I had cancer,
send
I
money
feel
to
like
St.
I can
Jude's,
fight it. You know what I mean? Like knock on wood, but
Right.
I feel like I'd be able to fight it, but or do my best or whatever it is. But a child doesn't have like let me take the gut punch, not some 4-year-old
I
kid.
agree. I like helping those who cannot help themselves, like animals, young children.
Fair enough. Me
Right.
too.
That is someone who
Because you're
can.
a strong person. You may have feelings inside, but you're strong on the outside.
I am strong.
You and I are
Yes,
the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Bring me to my knees, but I'm
Sarah's not like us.
back up. Sarah, defend yourself on that one. I know better on that.
I'm just kidding. She's very strong. I'm
know,
just
I
She's
know.
one of
teasing.
the stronger people I know.
She's very strong. She wouldn't be
I
able
feel
to
the
put up with
energy.
my jokes.
100%. So homeless. One day, my ex-husband, we're driving around. There's this homeless guy always on the corner on Federal Highway. I said, I want to get him a hamburger. My ex-husband, Jeff, says, Amy, no. He doesn't want food. He wants money for drugs. I said, absolutely not. He is hungry. He was real skinny. He goes, okay. I'm going to prove this to you, and it's going to make you sad. I'm like, well, I'll prove
I'd rather
you
be
wrong.
sad and then I'll have a cheeseburger.
Right? So I get the cheeseburger. We go around the block. I get out and I wake up the guy to give him the cheeseburger. That should have been the first clue. I wake him up, give him the cheeseburger. He looks at me, says, thank you. I walk away. I'm all happy. We drive. He goes, okay, we'll drive around the block again. It was in the trash can. He never ate it.
Aww.
It really upset me. But then 5 years later, I meet Andre. So you just don't know who you're going to help, who you're going to impact. Sometimes you got to kiss a lot of frogs.
Fact.
Right? That big
Fact.
more on the dating side. But yeah.
Fact.
I hear you.
I know. You're very logical about it. This is where my emotion comes out, though.
Because you have a personal story to tie it to. You know, you've become friends with
We
somebody.
have a success story.
Personally.
Success story in Andre. You have a success story of someone who isn't just, here you go, here's my hand. And
He won't even ask me. Once in all these years, he asked me for $20 because his money that comes in from the VA on his debit card didn't hit in time.
Right.
That's it. And I respect that.
Yeah.
He doesn't ask.
Yeah.
There's been times I'm out with him doing something and I'm like, let's drive through. You know, you want something to eat? Oh my God, thank you so much. And I appreciate that because he appreciates it.
Did he play for your event?
He did. It was one of the most. Do you know Jared Lowe?
Yes.
Right. So Jared's a veteran.
Okay, yeah.
Right. So this was the year after COVID, but we still weren't out and about. I know I talk with my hands. I'm watching you.
Oh, so do I.
Can't help it.
Oh, no, I do too.
I'm like this.
I see the video of us and I'm like, I have this claw that I do on this show, which is really weird.
I do it when I'm speaking in public. It drives me with the claw.
It does. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm focused on the claw, and now I can't think of it. Oh, so
Jared Lowe event.
So I asked Andre to play. I said, do you have something to wear? He said, what do you want me to wear? I said, I kind of want you to wear a tuxedo. He goes, I said, let me get you one. I don't need you to get me one. Okay. So he shows up in a tuxedo. I come to find out he bought it at a thrift store, but God bless him. He didn't come to me for help. He got it. And Jared introduces him. No one other than Jared and I know the story that he's a homeless veteran. At that time, homeless veteran. And Jared does the pledge. And he's talking about what the pledge means to him as a veteran, which could bring you to tears, you know, right? Different perspective. And then he introduces Andre, who's sitting in his tux at a baby grand on the other stage. And he tells Andre's story. And like, here's where I'll have emotion, because it was one of the most touching moments of my life. As he told Andre's story about how Jared came home and he had a support system, Andre came home and had no one and ended up on the street. Now he had cancer, was in jail, got diagnosed with cancer, and they sent him to the VA, which changed his life. That was before I met him. Everyone was up out of their seats, standing ovation for Andre. He hadn't played yet. He was weeping.
Aww.
And look at me. Okay, it's in me. I was about to say this is audio. Thank God it's video. So anyhow, no, but it was just, we helped a human in that moment.
Yeah.
And he became part of the Women's Council. People invited him all over the state of Florida to come play at their little mini installations, Iowa State, and I would drive him or they would get him there. And he ended up writing a song at the end of the year for the Women's Council and sang it to us. It was spectacular. He ended up going through another bad wave after that, which, look, just goes to show it's on them at the end of the day. You can only help people so much.
Yeah.
He's back on track, and I'm not sure if he'll always be back on track, but he's in my life, I'm in his, and there's a reason for it.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to show you the picture. You'll show me the picture of Boo Boo. I'll show you the picture of Andre when we're done.
You got to do the voice, though, when you show her.
Which voice?
Little boo-boo.
My little boo-boo.
Oh, hey, Boo Boo.
Boo-boo.
I would not have expected that when we sat down.
But
all serious. And then
It's so good.
I love it.
yes, we had so the same individual I was telling you about earlier. That's a big teddy bear, and I'm at a conference one time, and we're all mortgage people, and so he stands up and starts telling a story, and next thing you know, like, you had a bunch of us crying in there. And so I ended up pledging money and got involved just from a financial perspective. So I flew to Columbia, South Carolina for this event for one night. And so we raised like $1 million in a night.
Wow.
And it was a really cool. And I flew back and like when they did their grand opening. And so it was a lot of fun. It's kind of, see, so what, it happens in my head faster than I can say it, okay? This is what's happening. And so my brain goes, it's just like yoga for me. When I do yoga, which I don't do very often, I feel great afterwards. And same thing when I do philanthropy.
Oh, yes.
It's just that I played that conversation out in my head before I said it, before it came out. And this is my struggle.
Savant.
Yes. But, and I was saying it's the same thing with philanthropy because I don't get involved enough. I do belong to an organization called Impact 100 Men.
Of course, Noreen's.
And she's in the women in the, okay, cool. So, but, I was on the board for several years. And I'm like, the problem with boards is that it's time. And time doesn't make me feel anything.
I agree.
So we do.
And I would think being on a board would be tough for you. It's not all like-minded people.
Yeah, I mean,
Depends.
Being on a board's fine as long as I'm leading.
Touche. Okay.
No,
that was quick.
He's not lying.
No, but I was. I mean, I was the president for a couple of years, and the problem with the board is everyone's volunteering, and so the skill set of the individuals.
Right.
It's not like a company. A company is I'm looking in the future. I want X to look this way, and I'm just like you. I start with the end, and then I work my way back. And as I do that, I'm okay. Well, if we don't have the right person, go find the right person. Let's get the person to accomplish the task that I want to have happen.
Right.
And on a board, it's not so easy. You can't just spend money when you want. It's not your own money. Right. You can't do that. So I didn't find it very fulfilling.
I get it. I got it frustrating being on some
both
boards.
Because I couldn't win.
Right.
In business, you can win by being more profitable, by growing your company, by having happy employees. There's a lot of different ways to find gratification. And in the nonprofit world, for me, I just didn't find it very. If there was a human aspect to it, if you're changing people's lives, that part of it, yes. But even then, like I still struggle to. Like you don't get to really meet the kids you've impacted. You don't get to see it. Like I need to hear, like, don't take this the wrong way, but I need to hear, feel, touch in order to feel impacted by, otherwise I'm just writing a check. And writing a check is really easy.
It's easy. Can I share one quick story?
Absolutely.
So at Lang, we did this giving tree. And it was a ton of work on me only because I didn't realize what I was stepping up for. I'm a control freak. So I'm like, all right, everyone in Lang, go find 20 people who are not currently covered by nonprofits, right? Who are out there struggling. We as realtors see it. They're losing their home, this and that. Get me 20 people. So I got 20 people. I call them to give me your wish list. And then we put it, like we have all different offices, we kind of hung it on a tree and you pick and you buy the gifts. Everyone loved it. But the piece that was missing is they didn't get to meet the people. I did. We delivered it. So the next year, you learn as you go. The next year we said, okay, they have to come to get the gifts. We're going to do an event and we're going to set it up in the conference room or wherever it might be in an office. And it's at Christmas time, Hanukkah, Christmas, whatever. We had Santa Claus there. One of the most, and then they could connect the dots, right? Then the feel good came. But I will tell you another incredible story from that. There's this little girl, very, very poor. She and her brother don't even get birthday presents consistently every year. Some people's wish list was like out of control. I want a television. I want to like, that's not what this is, right? Her wish list was, I want a coloring book. I want crayons. It was stuff that you're like, holy cow, the stuff that we take for granted. So we wrapped the gifts. Well, we had also gotten all this extra money. So we went and bought some of those kids' iPads, not like real iPads, but like where you can, the games or whatever. And we got a bunch and we wrapped it. So we're giving gifts out. They're giving gifts out. And we gave her the gift and she opens it up. No, I think she's opened the iPad by her reaction. She is shaking, she is crying, and she turned around and grabbed the girl, Lang agent, who gave it to her, hugging her, sobbing. It was a coloring book. And I'm like, holy cow, we don't realize how lucky. Like my son's like, I want Chipotle. I say, order it.
Right.
We don't realize that's a
And
luxury.
by the way, use Uber Eats and pay another
Yes.
$25 on top of the
Don't
order
even-
with your
I know.
fees, taxes, tip.
I know. I can't even look at the credit card anymore. But my point is, we can make an impact in our own community,
Sure.
touch and feel, and it doesn't have to be the people
Yeah.
who are just ungrateful.
So I have a charity idea.
All right.
No, I just don't want to run it and be like.
That's where Sarah comes in.
All right. So here's the idea, and I personally did this, and so I've seen the impact of how it works. I bought both of my grandmothers, one grandmother who's passed away and one who's 101. I bought them iPads.
Really?
And yeah, with long jeans. Come on, look at this.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Stuck with you forever.
no, but you're laughing. That's what counts.
That's exactly right.
So no, but you put I bought them iPads, and so that they could FaceTime their
Family.
all my family and
Right.
siblings and all that stuff. And like, you don't realize like that's what, the hardest part for older people
Yep.
is loneliness. And they don't have the way to connect. And, like literally like I had to get the internet for my grandmother and all of it for all of it to work. And I was like, I can't believe like no one thinks of this. And I thought to myself, there's got to be a ton of people who, I mean, I have, you just grab like old, well, first of all, iPads are getting to be cheap now, but you grab like an old refurbished iPad and you give them away to
Like nursing homes and stuff.
yeah. Oh, perfect. Even nursing homes.
Or
Like,
shut-ins. I mean, really.
what's that?
Like shut-ins, people who can't get out anymore. They're
Yeah.
living alone, the elderly.
What did you call them? Shut-in?
Shut-ins.
Shut-ins.
That's what
They're
called.
literally shut in.
I've
They
never
can't
heard
get
of
out.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I always
I
like,
love that.
yeah. Well, it was amazing.
It spoke to you because it's your family and you know the
It
impact.
was my grandmother. I was
That's what I
really,
mean.
really close with the one that passed away. And
sorry.
so like, yeah.
But there's
I would
others.
FaceTime her and stuff like that.
But I think that'd be a great initiative. Did you see on the news a
Sarah's
couple days
bored.
ago?
Let's get started, Sarah.
What are you waiting for? Did you see on the news about the car? I don't know where it was, Palm Beach. I don't know where it was, but there was a minor car accident. A 91-year-old man and I'm going to say 17-year-old girl
Okay.
got in an accident. They started talking because the accident wasn't a bad accident. Come to find out, he's 91. Everyone he loves is gone. Doesn't have kids, doesn't have siblings. She visits him 3 times a week and did exactly that. Got him a computer so he could talk to people and help. His biggest issue, and she was shocked to learn, was loneliness.
Yeah.
I just read that online yesterday. And I was like, wow, there's such a need, but we run so fast that sometimes we forget to
Yeah.
look,
Yeah. That's true.
right?
Yep. That's what Boo Boo does. Boo Boo prevents loneliness.
Oh, boo-hoo.
All right,
true.
Amy, any parting words, anything that we need to,
I don't know how I top that one.
You don't.
Boo-boo.
she's famous. Oh, I just had a great idea. We should bring her on the podcast sometime.
And Scooby
Hold
and
on a
Addison.
second.
Mine.
I
She can
said we should
replace
do.
Sarah. This would be amazing.
I said we should do the kids of choice and have them all on and do little segments. Like, what do you think your mom and dad does? And like have them like
That would be
short,
really cute.
Like 5 minutes, depending on the age. Like Julia, she's 11. She could sit for a lot longer. Reed, have him for 4 seconds, and you have like Jared interview him really quick. And I think it would be cute. I would think it'd be super cute.
And then you
I
can have
think
my 16-year-old who won't talk.
Mine's still 11, so
She's
she's
16. It's just,
she's
how are
still
you? Fine.
She still talks
Nothing.
to
Does
me.
he like sports?
Yeah, football. You could talk. He'd talk football with you,
See?
just not with me. I joined the same gym he belongs to. That mortified him, but now I go when I know he's there. It's fun. I gotta have some fun.
Hey,
as a mom.
we have to embarrass
Hi,
them.
Dill.
I say to my kids all the time, you guys embarrassed me so bad when you were throwing your tantrums in the middle of restaurants and all kinds
my
of stuff.
turn.
I'm going to embarrass you forever. So just, it's going to be part of it.
Can I tell you something? 10 football players at my house Saturday night playing poker in the back room. Second I walked in, I'd had a glass of wine, whatever. Seemed like a really good idea. I walked back in there so fast. Hi, hey guys, how are
Hey,
you?
guys.
My child's face, it was so wonderful. Like, get out.
It's so
Mom.
satisfying. It's so
It's like,
satisfying.
yes, I know.
I will say that was definitely embarrassment, especially the younger I was not a fan of it. like with my mom.
Oh, I know. I know.
Like I'll be in the grocery store and I'll hear a song that comes on and I'll start to like move a little bit and dance, and Julia will walk up to me and she'll pinch me so hard and she'll go, "Stop doing that." And I look at her and I'm like, "What is wrong with you?" And she's like, "Don't do that. You look so creepy when you move like that."
She knows your real dance moves.
But can I tell you something? One day she'll remember that. You dancing in the store. We always do.
Isn't that funny how all kids just like, they hate to be, they think there's trauma but from their parents because of like the embarrassment stuff.
I'm like, "Do you know that I'm really cool?" And she's like, "No, you're not." I'm like, "Yes, I am."
Well, I say it to Dylan too. You have no idea what a
You
cool
have
mom
no
you are.
idea. You have no idea how cool I am.
Right? I worry a little bit that we think that never mind.
No, we are cool.
We are, right?
We are. We're very cool.
Okay.
I'm going to go dancing with you to that one place.
Cafe Centro.
Yeah.
We can go.
Yes.
It's fun.
Well, Amy, thank you so much
you
for
for
being
having
on the
me. It
show.
was fun.
You've been an awesome guest.
Thank
if there's
you.
anybody who wants to get a hold of you or Noreen to list, buy, start a charity, whatever it is, what's the best way for them to contact you?
amyandnoreen.com. You can find all of my contact information on there.
So
Love it.
Amy's easy to spell. How do we spell?
amyandnoreen.com.
Perfect.
amyandnoreen.com. That was a good point. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Simple Sarah and I will be back to you next week.
Bye.
That's it. Have a good day.
Okay, that's enough whining for one day. We are so happy that you could join us today on Stop Whining About Real Estate. So please, not only listen, but subscribe, follow us, download, share, and if you're feeling it, give us a 5-star review. Hey, and if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email stopwhining@choicemortgage.com. Thanks so much.